So, so it seems that, and see, I can speak to the actions, and that would be fortuitive for all the minds of comprehension, right? But I think the fact is that the energies, they multiply in different people. So it's the light inside an individual. Yes, everybody has a version of light that subsequents its own direction, whatever it's supposed to do in its manifestation. But people are looking for these energies to come up through whatever situation and shine, so then they can say, I can see that in this person. But then you have, in that word harvest, it just started like scratching at me for a minute, and it was like, pay attention, pay closer attention. And I was like, harvest. I understand what people was trying to say, you know what I'm saying, like energies or people being taken or whatever, like you're being harvested, right? And I had to think deeply about that for a minute, and it got kind of weird, because it was like something was like walking me down like a row of books or something. And we got to this point where the word influence was more important. It was like used as a weapon. And it was used as a weapon incrementally in individual families based off the experience that these people went through. Like whatever family it was, however someone sees themselves every day, you look in the mirror, like it starts to break down to all the actions of a person and their family and how they're connected to things and what they won't allow and what they will allow. Because going back to that comprehension of what you can take, it was supposed to be a knowledge learned from that, I believe, but I don't know if everybody got it. So you have all these different perceptions in retrospect to what people believe is the strongest aspect of being, and then that becomes a teaching, and then you show that to whatever you believe is your child. And I say that respectfully and lightly, because it's the light that's given that child life. You were chosen to allow that to come through. So it was your responsibility to handle that in a certain way. So, influence. The fact that these lights are coming through, different people at different times. They're being handled particularly certain ways. And then those channels that taught those people through experience has changed drastically. Like somebody's back looking at that part. Like someone's sitting back and saying, well, we've implicated these things, and collectively this is the outcome. Let's do it like this. And then they implicate or implement a whole nother retrospect of circumstances that just flood through. And individually they get picked up because it falls as a societal norm. Like people adapt to the societal norm really, really fast. And those retrospects carve individuals who are visual in their perception of where they stand from witnessing these circumstances. It's real deep to see the control aspect take place and then understand that the underlining line would ultimately be to direct or misdirect the diamond that you don't even see in your household. That's deep. Like if you known, right, like all these circumstances are going to take place, especially with the younger people. They're coming in and they're actually, and it's weird because it's like I can feel this energy of something can be said before they get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And it'll change everything collectively because it'll be a conversation. And I keep feeling that push, you know, like that thing trying to come into existence, that energy of truth trying to come out. I can feel it. And that's the way it's supposed to go, but it's like it's the false bravado of its acceptance from certain aspects. So you may have younger people bringing this to their parents in some form of way, and they're looking for the parents to be understanding to their way of seeing this particular thing or whatever that may be. But inside of it, it has a seed that's going to be birthed into a light. So they're coming at you for support or understanding or agreeance in some form. And you give them the space to comprehend that. But then you have the majority of this energy that's, you know, that's keeping this circle closed off. That's probably inlaid in the normal propaganda of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's getting shut down, you know, because it's about redirecting the light. But if you unconsciously don't know that that's what you're doing, right? And you don't know the outcome because you're just getting your point across. You don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care. Like, you just, you know, you gonna let them know. Or you was raised different or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Try to find it in yourself to go against what's fighting you. You know what I'm saying? What's pushing you to feel a certain type of way. And then, like, take your time and actually look at it, because you might be freeing a divine energy. Might be leading it on its path of standing in its divinity and actually understanding what that feels like. So just be mindful of that. Because we use that as devices, like whether we see it or not. Like, people don't comprehend, like, if you ain't structuring it behind the divine, everything else in the world that guides you to whatever point of value has made you think, oh my God, it's the holidays now, I can do more spell work. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to hurt something that's created by the same thing you're created with? You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people just have that type of character with them where they carry it and they have to set control. You don't have a listening factor with you before you set dominance. You know what I'm saying? There's people that's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a fear. It's like you're afraid. You know what I mean? But everything has to grow. So I can't be rough with the plants. I'm going to break them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to break them and I'm going to have to start over. Right? And then you look back like, I'm sorry. What is the point when you got the opportunity to think? It's just responsibility. If you really wanted to be in the best place, you gotta lead with love. And that's kind of hard sometimes when they be disrespectful and they show they don't care and they got their own personal agendas and all that. But that's what separates you from the value. That's what allows you to float above it, because you already know. So sometimes less is more. I don't know, yo, like, people's actions affect other things that they don't see. That be the crazy part. Like, you really got agendas and you not even comprehending yet that you had a job to do, but yet you still keep doing other shit that's like rippling. And not even to the fact that you gotta stop, right? It's more to the fact that everything you do in the wrong direction, and comprehending that you know it's in the wrong direction, but you don't care. When it bounce off, and it finds its way back. Those ripples is hitting everything in the facility of where it came from. That's why it hits people that you deal with. It's a wave. It's a wave. So even if you mad that you gotta stop, save yourself and your own people, because that's what you really end up putting up on the gun range. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High, Creator of all creators and creations. You know, it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to learn how to cultivate and be a part of divine cultivation. That's what this is all about. If you want to fight something, fight against everything that makes you indifferent to that. If that's what you want to do, that's your job. You want to learn something, that's how you learn. Find out how well you taking care of what divine put here, no matter how twisted it is. Some things you might have to move away from, some things you should be able to help, but divine puts it in front of you so you can have discernment. You can have that as an understanding. And if your response is not always, no, I love the Most High, why would I hurt what the Most High created? Like, it'll just set a different precedent, and you'll see what's always surfacing around you, what the opportunities is always coming to you in those perspectives. Then you'll be able to deliberate why and how it was magnetized to you in the first place. That be the real spill. Like, if you're going to do the work, do the work. Do the work. That's how you learn yourself. Like, yo, why would I want to do that? And then you see what you're around. You see what you're dealing with. You see your own thought patterns. You get to clean it all up. All praises to the Most High. It's a fact. You know, it is a line to where you don't even have to cross and go that far. You know what I'm saying? Like, people go over the line and end up taking a life, doing something heinous, doing something crazy, like, and then you find yourself like, how did I get here? You went over the threshold of that value. Like, nah, I'm gonna go too far. And in certain energies, if you make choices in this physical body, the way they ripple, you really end up destroying other shit. And it's like, not for nothing, you might want to see if it takes place. Like, I want to see if something happens. At least a little something, right? Because you notice things happening with other people. But those other people might have been doing other negative things in their life that allow that shit to come through. So then you felt like you played a role in that. But when you're dealing with something that's in the class with the Almighty, like, why would you know what I'm saying? Like, make it make sense. I'm not gonna go try to do something to somebody who ain't out here doing nothing to nobody. Like, that's crazy. So that's the innocence of the child. So if your child carrying that light, right, it's imperative to, and you got to like notice that. So your life is a lesson. You gotta like notice that, especially if you're a parent. You gotta be like, nah, that one right there got a little something going on. I'm gonna pay attention to it. And that be the spell. Like, you gotta know it's not favoritism, it's you comprehending each of them. And then you giving them their space to be what that's supposed to be. And if that divine light is on one of them and you allow it to cultivate, oh man, you got something great that's gonna happen because you gave it free life. You gave it the opportunity to be divine. That individual is going to lead the way in the light that's coming through your direction. Every light that's hitting in existence is all raised. Everybody got the opportunity to play that role, but then some people, they go with how they feel. Oh, I like this, I want to, and then you choose the horror movie scene. Like, you want to be a part of the story, I'll be this one. It don't work like that. Divine created you. Like, you're going to be stupid or you're going to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, like, you know what I mean? And that'll go right over people's head, you know what I'm saying? But that light is important, man. And you gotta know that shit is important. It might be in you, and you might have let it, get changed a little bit by the people you deal with as an adult. It might have been in you when you was younger, and you just never spoke on nothing. Like, it might have been there. You might have had it, and then you just started on with shit that, felt like, well, that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you got used to it. That's like saying making excuses the reason why you don't want to play that game no more. Nah, sometimes you gotta go back to the start, baby. You gotta go back to when you knew it was that innocence. Divine don't make mistakes, people do. So protect all of it. When you see it in your kids, if you remembering it being in yourself, you know what I'm saying? If you see it dimming out in the elders, protect it all. That's the job. And find the best way to do that in the facility of you. Learn to know that light first by recognizing, the connections and how it plays out. Not about what nobody said. You gotta really feel it. You gotta ask divine to guide you, and when you get around things and you get them goosebumps, you know that there's some light over there. I don't know, it might be different for everybody. I'm a water sign, so I get the waves. I feel like water waves going across me. Like, I call them goosebumps, but they feel like water waves. Some people may get hot. You know what I'm saying? Some people may feel dirty. I don't know, like, what they feel trembles, like trembles in the earth. I don't know, they may feel trembles. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people may feel like the wind blowing on them and get like a wind chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like rippling water. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I'm saying, man. Just protect the light. If it means anything to you, protect your lights. You know what I'm saying? Protect your lights, or you automatically lead them in the path. You know what I'm saying? That you don't want to pay for in the future. Like, damn. One thing you're gonna keep saying is, I remember we used to do shit like this. I remember we used to be like this. What's the point? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a crash. That's like crash out shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, so we just gonna accept it because we remember being like this. Alright, I got you. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna watch.